We've got a chokehold, a potentially game-changing offside, and some dogso confusion. Welcome into Instant Replay presented by Cheez-It. I'm Bobby Warshaw. Let's do it. Let's start at Dignity Health Sports Park with the Galaxy hosting NYCFC. It's 1-0 in the 47th minute when Anton Tinnerholm gets to the end line and tries to pull the ball back across the goal. Erdian Antuña blocks the cross. The original call on the field from Chris Penso is offside on Tinnerholm, but when we back up to when Alex Ring makes the pass, it's clear that Tinnerholm is not offside. So on to the next decision, the handball on Antuña. It's important to remember that Penso did not blow the whistle until after David Bingham grabs the ball, so the handball is still reviewable. And when you look at this one again, it's clearly a penalty. Antuña is trying to make his body as big as possible to block the cross. The arms are part of the concerted action of the body. Deliberate action makes it a handball. Great work all around from Penso and his crew. Unfortunately, it got murkier from there. Let's fast forward to the 51st minute. New York are up 2-0. It's a scramble in the box, and Maxime Chanot and Zlatan Ibrahimovic come together. Penso calls the foul on Zlatan, but let's rewind and zoom in. Zlatan's the one to get the touch on the ball, and Chanot kicks him. This should have been a penalty for the Galaxy. It's clear and obvious for me too. Zlatan gets the touch, he takes over possession, and Chanot kicks him. NYCFC got lucky. One more from LA, and it came in the 86th minute. New York are still up 2-0 when the Galaxy knock on the door. Zlatan hits the crossbar, then Pontius hits the crossbar, and then Sean Johnson and Ibra bump into each other. Johnson falls to the ground. Watching the game live, it was unclear what was happening. Is Johnson milking it? Is he hurt? What's going on? Penso decides to give a yellow card to both Johnson and Ibrahimovic. But when you look at it again, and it's very obvious that Zlatan Ibrahimovic should have been given a red card. There's no, oh, I didn't mean to chokehold him defense. You don't accidentally chokehold someone. Deliberate hands to the face, violent conduct, should be see you later. This is a more deliberate and provocative act of hands to the face than the red cards we've already seen given this year. And while we're talking hands to the face, let's move to Toronto. It's the 95th minute and the Reds are trailing Philadelphia 2-1. The shot goes out for a goal kick, Austin Trusty grabs the ball, and Alejandro Pozuelo wants to hurry it along. Pozuelo's forearm gets Trusty in the face. Remy Touchon shows Pozuelo a yellow straight away. Should this have been a red card though? For me, no. It's an excellent read of the situation by Touchon. Pozuelo is not deliberately going to Trusty's face. If anything, Trusty maneuvers his head into Pozuelo. The problem is, and the reason this is even a topic, is that red cards have already been given for similar plays. We've seen players sent off for attempting to push opponents in the chest and getting them in the face. Pozuelo, whether he means it or not, makes contact with Trusty's head. By my own personal interpretation of the laws, Pozuelo only deserves a yellow. But precedent this year, at least prior to this week, says otherwise. Let's head down now to Mercedes-Benz Stadium for Atlanta-Orlando, when Julian Gressel appears to double the lead. He's even started to go all Joseph with his mug celebrations. But no, there's a check to be made. Was Tito Villalba offside on the original through ball? Referee Rubio Vazquez heads to the screen. Look, it appears to me like Villalba is offside. Using the lines on the field, Villalba's foot appears just beyond the last defender. But as I say every week on this show, I don't know how a person can look at that and find it perfectly clear. Since the call on the field in the moment was not offside, I think Vazquez should have stuck with it. Sticking on our own with offside calls, we go to Nippert Stadium, where Cincinnati hosted Montreal. We're in the 40th minute, and Cincinnati lead 1-0. Michael Azira slips the ball through to Daniel Lovitz. Lovitz plays across the goal, and the impact tie it. No. The flag was raised, and Joseph Dickerson puts his hand up to signal an offside call. He ends up going to the screen for it. He decides to uphold the offside. And to me, this all comes down to the original call on the field, which was offside. It's close. Lovitz looks onside to me, but I can acknowledge that it's subjective. I wouldn't call any ref wrong for saying it's offside. And once they deem it offside, it's certainly not obvious enough to change with video review. Let's move now to Dick's Sporting Goods Park for the Rocky Mountain Cup. The first big call comes in the 23rd minute with the game scoreless. Bofo Saucedo gets past Sebastian Anderson and Saucedo goes down. This one, obvious penalty. Anderson gets the back of Saucedo's legs. Nice call from Robert Sabiga. I'm not so sure about the call in the 33rd minute though. After Albert Rusnak converts the spot kick to put RSL up 1-0 and a Corey Baird Peach puts RSL up 2, Justin Glad steps into a tackle on Jonathan Lewis. Sabiga gives the red right away, but he goes to his ear to signal a check and then heads to the screen. He comes back and decides to change the card to a yellow. I just about fell out my chair. First of all, this is a red card. All day, every day. Glad goes in with his studs up and his foot 6 inches off the ground. If Lewis hadn't bailed from the tackle after seeing Glad's studs, it could have gotten ugly. I don't even find this to be a tough subjective call. So then to go to video review and deem it a clear and obvious mistake, look at the studs. Look at Glad leaving both feet and leaving the ball off the ground. Glad is usually an excellent tackler and this was a strange challenge from him, but this was bad. I have no idea how it was overturned. Colorado was right to get heated. And they stayed heated until this play came in the 88th minute with RSL up 3-2. Remember, Colorado haven't won yet this year. Does it matter for this call? No, but it might make you feel bad for them. The ball hits Nick Beasler's hand in the box. Sabiga says play on in the moment, but goes to the screen to double check after the ball goes out of bounds. He comes back and he maintains the original decision, no PK. For me, it's the right call. Beasler didn't know anything about it. The ball barely traveled before it hit his hand. It's ball to hand and a good call from everyone involved. One last game. The Revs are hosting the Quakes. It's 1-0 when Teal Bunbury gets beyond Harold Cummings. Bunbury goes down. Referee Guido Gonzalez gives the PK straight away. Then Gonzalez goes to the video review screen. There are two decisions to be made here. First, was it a penalty kick? For me, yes, but only for the arm onto Bunbury's shoulder. When a defender puts an extended arm on an attacker, I'm okay whenever it gets called. It's soft, as it doesn't actually look like Cummings gives much of a tug, but it's not inconsequential. It's a light foul, but a foul. What would not, should not have been a foul on this is the challenge on the ball. Cummings wins the ball cleanly on the tackle. He doesn't go through Bunbury to win the ball. Why does that matter if it was already a PK anyway? Because Gonzalez needs to decide whether to send Cummings off. It's clear that Cummings is the last defender, and it's dog-so. If Cummings is called for the foul for attempting to win the ball, however, it's only a yellow. If the foul is called for something other than Cummings playing the ball, like a tug on the arm, it's a red. For me, this foul should have been called for the pull on the shoulder, not the attempt on the ball, and Cummings should have been sent off. He wasn't, but the drama was avoided as the Revs won 3-1. That's it for Week 11. Thank you to everyone that got at us on Twitter using the hashtag Instant Replay. We read them all and then ignore a few of them. See you next week.